There you go. Nice pretty fillet off a walleye. Boneless fillet every time. Hello and welcome to the OHO. Today we're going to be cleaning up some walleyes, crappie, perch, and bluegills. How to clean them using a fillet knife. So I just use your basic store-bought fillet knife. Sharpener, same one that comes with it really. Water, some salt, a little sprinkle of salt in there. And I'll put my fish fillets in there. Helps get all the bacteria and any harmful particles off of there. Make sure they're tasty to eat and safe. What I like to do is cut just behind. I'll take the knife, lift it up like this, cut just behind the pectoral fin. So you try to get right back here so you get most of your meat right through here. If you obviously cut this way, you're going to lose all this meat right here. So ideally you want to come right underneath this pectoral, underneath this, it's called the ear or the flap. Underneath the pectoral fin, come in there, right there is where you make your first cut. Just like that. See that first cut like that, turn it, come down here, right along here, along the dorsal fin. And then as you get through, you go through and then the rest of the way over. So I come through right here, I turn, I cut. Going right along there, poke through. Make sure you guys can see that. And right out the back. Oh, there's many different ways to clean a bluegill, but this is the way I've learned. So I usually pre-take the knife and quick go up here a little bit, just kind of give it a trim right along the dorsal fin. You can see that bone structure right there. It's easier on bigger bluegills, obviously harder on smaller fish. So you can go and you feel it. Now hear it, listen. You hear that? That's the bone right there. That is your lateral line bone right there, your lateral line. So what I do is I come up a little bit on the lateral line, almost to the skin basically, and then you'll see the knife, I fold it right back over like that. We'll go in quicker motion. Then I come right down the rib cage and you will get the maximum amount of meat like that. So there's your first fillet. Put that out to the side. I'll show you a trick on how to clean that up too. So again, once again, you're going to come right along the pectoral fin, right along here. So that's what we're going to do is go for the maximum amount of meat right up towards the head, towards the head. You can almost even cut it up this way more. And then we'll turn that, come right along the spine again. And you poke through right here. You poke right back through the back side here by the anal fin. So now you'll come right here again. You can see that. There's a little bit of tail left on that time. It makes it easier to clean them off. You can get a hunk of the tail. But so then I just kind of like, I already know I have to come along here. You can feel the bone structure. The back, the spine of the fish. So I'll peel it back here like this. And you can see right there again. And then I go up to the skin. It's real quick. And right back down. Following that rib cage right there. You can clearly see the rib cage right there. And you just go a little bit down and I put my knife right there, cut, and you get another perfect fillet. Okay, put those out to the side for a second. Let's do another bluegill so you guys can see that again. This time we'll go a little bit faster. It's just kind of frozen from the ice. It's ice fishing season. So once again, look at the pectoral fin. And this way here, we'll do that a little bit quicker and smoother motion this time. Get up to the maximum amount of meat, come right along the dorsal fin. Oops, it fell out of it there. Poke the knife through right behind the anal fin, out towards the tail. And again, you can feel the spine of the fish as you go out. And I already know I have to trim along here, so I mostly do this. So I do a little quick one right there so I can get my thumb in there and start peeling the meat back so I can see where I'm at. So yeah, again, here the bones go up to the top of the skin right there. You can almost see where it kind of hits the mud vein where it's red right there, and then right back down the rib cage. Following that rib cage. There you go again. I will do this side here. Again, same thing. A little bit faster. Trying to keep them in the light so you guys can see good. Back poking through. You don't want to poke through. Here's the other side what it looks like. So you can see I'm on the side of the fish. This is to get the maximum amount of meat. Once again, going up to the top, hit this, almost hit the top basically. Come right down the rib cage, trying to get as much meat as you can. And you can see like right here, the fish is still connected. A lot of times I get so much of it, I'll get the fin, but I'll try to get right there and get that beautiful fillet. Now the perch has got basically the same bone structure. The only difference is it's a longer, narrower fish. It does not have the Y bone like a northern pike would, or trout or salmon or some fish. The perch will be the same structure as a bluegill. So again, I'll do like right along the top there, come along the back, these fins. You know, I have to dive in there so I can get my fat thumb in there. Here, the spine again, same thing. Right up to the top of the fish. And right along here. So that's a good fillet. You can see there's time of the year where they have spawn. It's a female. Along, aiming this way here to get a maximum amount of meat on the perch. I'm really trying to keep my knife and everything out of the way so you guys can see. Oh, I missed there a little bit. You'll have a misfire now and then. We're human. Right out behind the anal fin again, right down the tail. I want to do a series, I don't know what you guys think, or not a series, but another video where it's fillet knife versus electric knife, and see which one I can go faster on and get more meat on. So I take roughly the same size fish, and I do fillet knife versus electric knife. Oh, I tore that guy right off. Oh, that frozen, huh? That was bad. I butchered that one, folks. That perch got hurt. Still got the meat off of them. Alright, so let's get to the crappie. Well, the crappie, once again, has got the same structure as a bluegill and a perch. So again, once again, everybody should know that we start right behind the pectoral fin here. I'm going to cut right up, try to get the maximum amount of meat. Sometimes I'll lift the gill up to make sure I can get right on the head there. So it's almost like you want it straight, but you can see how I turn that knife a little bit as I come up into that fish. Then I turn the knife. Go right along its back there. You want to hug as close as you can to that fin. And then poke through it again by the anal fin, going out the back of the fish. And then I just take my knife. I know I have to go right there again. And you can see the spine here. You can hear the bones this way too on the spine. There's the lateral lines. And once again, cutting up. Hit the top. And I kind of pull it away. I don't know if you can see that or not. When I hit the top, I don't want to just like cut up and cut right through the hide. I want to cut up the top and then go down, and I can feel these bones, the rib cage. So you want to try to get maximum amount of meat as you can. It's obviously the goal of keeping your fish. And you can see a nice big fillet. Now it looks like this crappie is a female too. I see some spawn in there, and that's almost ripe. So once again, we'll cut right along here again. Get underneath the gill if we can a little bit. Try to get some of the meat. Sometimes you get some cheek meat. Cutting right up there again like that. Get up there maximum. Crappie's got a softer meat. Hopefully you guys can see that knife working right there. Again, I'll do my little things when I get my thumb in there. I like to try to get right up tight to that spine on the back. Get all that meat as maximum as you possibly can. You can hear the bones. Once again, there's the spine. There's the lateral line. Go right up to the top. Right up to the top of there. You can hear them. You want to cut through them, but again, up to the skin and almost kind of pulling that knife, almost separating the spine from there so you don't puncture through the skin. It just makes it easier to fillet the fish. And I'll cut right there. Nice beautiful fillet again. Yeah, this crappie, he's got spawn too in there as a female. Spawn is almost to the point you could eat that. That's spawn sack, and they are edible. Alright, here's our walleye. Again, I added the pectoral fin right up, getting that maximum amount of meat right there. As you can see, this is a lot of meat to get. So, I like to cut way up here. You can feel the head of the skeleton, you can't cut through that, but yeah. Cut up right up there, get that all the way up. Turn your knife, once again. Going right back down the spine. I'll move the fish down a little bit so you can see that better. So you're going to follow the spine right here along that back. So again, you're sticking the tip of your knife in there. Right down along that spine. Move them down again so you can see them good. Right along the spine, we're going to stick them right behind the anal fin again. Come up with that anal fin and go that way. So right there, behind the poke up of the anal fin. See that? Right out the back. There you go. Now once again, just like we've done before, I'm going to kind of like stick my knife in there real fast so I can get my thumb in there. This fish is still kind of frozen too from the ice. You're just going to go right down. It's frozen. You hear that bone meat right there? Yep, right down to the spine again. There's the backbone. And you're going to take it, roughly the bone stop right here, just in front of the anal fin. So you want to make sure you go up to the rib cage, like right there, roughly, to get all the maximum amount of meat. So right there, roughly, just in line with this fin. You want to make sure you kind of start taking it up to the skin right there. So as you hit that bone, the rib cage, or the lateral bone, this means the fish is totally frozen still. You can see the bones are right there. Hit that skin basically right there from that direction like that. I'm just taking my time here, make sure we get all the meat. And then you go right back down. The rib cage once again. Following that rib cage, trying to get the maximum amount of meat again. So you can see how that's coming off right there. Trying to hold the fish up for you guys so you guys can see that. And sometimes people even cut like this just to get it. I want to make sure you guys can see. That's why I try to get that fillet every time. Beautiful walleye fillet. Now we'll do the other side. It's again making that cut up here, trying to get as maximum on as meat as we can. Right up to the top there, get that down there to the spine. Turn your knife. Come right along the spine there. Try to show that to you guys the best I can without cutting myself. Right along the spine. And again, we're going to come right out here by this anal fin. Coming along the spine. Poking out right there. See the knife poking out? And you're going to cut that down like that. You can use a little sawing action. I'm just going to have to because I'm in a bad angle clean the fish. So I can give you guys a better camera view. So now, go right along the spine again. Trying to get back some meat once again. If you go over too far, don't worry. You're just going to poke through on this side. It's not going to hurt nothing. So yeah. This fish is frozen, otherwise this meat would fall off a lot better. So you can see I'm cutting through there, trying to get it down, it's all frozen. There's the bone, I can hear it clanking. But yeah, other guys do it lots of different ways. There's many different ways to clean the fish. Again, we hit the bone and we go up. Trying to go up back to this fin again. Right about here is where you got to take it when you go up to hit the skin. So you want to go up at least that far on a walleye. For all fish, they're pretty much just, in general, you'll see, you can feel the bones. You know if you're in them, it's pretty obvious. And right along the rib cage right there you can see. Trying to get maximum meat once again. There you go. Nice pretty fillet off a walleye. Boneless fillet every time. Now if you want to, you can go after the cheek meat, which is right here on the walleye, in the cheek. That's why they call it the cheek meat. Basically you just cut around the cheek. There's a little hunk of cheek meat. Okay, this is where it's important to make sure you put some salt in your water. Add it in there. When you put your fish in there, it'll help to cure them, get all the bacteria and anything you don't want to eat out of there. Especially if you have even bluegills that have worms. Believe it or not, you can eat, because when you put them in even grease or heat, it's not long. It takes like 10-15 seconds. You got to cook them for a boiling temperature, I think it is, or something like that. You can look it up. I'll look it up. And then you can you can safely eat them. It'll disintegrate them. You won't even know they're there. But the salt helps too, to make sure it's any bacteria left behind or anything like that is all cleaned up. So yeah, put some salt. Regular table salt's fine. Just mix it in your water. A couple teaspoons in here. Mix it in. Don't be afraid to be heavy. It's not going to hurt the fish. You're going to rinse them off after we get done cleaning them all anyway. So you might as well make them safer than possible, just to be safe. So you're basically going to start with the fish here. That's why it is nice to leave the tail on a little bit. You're going to like kind of do a sawing motion. It's nice to have a flat table like this, not these paper bags underneath here. Make it all kittywampus. So it's really nice to kind of get a smoother, flat surface, cutting surface to do this. But yeah, you can go like this. You don't have to have anything special. And you just kind of see a nice sharp knife go right through there and get your fillet out there. Boneless fillet, put it in the water. So yeah, you can see the fillet right there. Now, if you don't get a good angle on the fillet and you're coming at the fillet, if you're coming at the fillet straight, you don't kind of like use the pressure to get down there, so you can kind of like saw it. See, I'm not even cutting the paper right now. It's just kind of gliding along the paper. So you want to glide along that scale, trying to get maximum amount of meat. So I'll show you what happens if you don't. So let's just say I do this and I'm cutting off the top, right? And I'm cutting this here. Well, I got some meat. You're like, oh, I got some meat here, but I left a whole bunch on the fillet, obviously. So you want to make sure you get down to the skin. You don't got. You can sometimes with a sharp knife you can just go. You don't have to even really saw the motion, but I am. There you go, and you can tell you get all the meat off because now you're down to the skin. I'll try to do one without doing a sawing motion here. See if I can get away with it or not. How sharp my knife really is. I like the little sawing motion. It's hard not to do it for me. But I had another boneless fillet. Some people will even come in here. You can do this before or do this after. You can come right along here to cut out the mud vein on a bigger fish. So they just cut right here like that. And then you can cut right here like that. Kind of take that out of there right now if you wanted to. You can do it after. You're just getting rid of the mud vein. And if you did miss any bones, it helps to clean up the fish in that regard too. So yeah. Okay, now we do a final rinse and check for any bones. Maybe a little bit more salt. Sprinkle and rinse around again. The salt helps to make sure that gets all the stuff out of them. Yeah, let them soak in the water for a while. Cooked up, the batter. Looking good. I just want to say thanks everybody for watching, their loyalty and their support. Look forward to bringing you more content, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you very much. Bye.